Hello everyone, and welcome to my Hardcore Rogue guide. In this guide, I'll talk about the different talent trees that I use at low and max level, different tips and tricks, the professions, but also race I prefer to choose, macros, and a lot of other stuff. And I've also made a timeline, so you can easily skip to the part that you're looking for. As a rogue, there's two decent leveling builds. The first one is where you mainly spend most of your points in the combat tree. This is where you will also be using a slow main hand and a fast offhand weapon. So one of the biggest benefits of playing a combat rogue is that you don't have to open in stealth all the time. You can just run in, use a sinister strike, and slice and dice. And at around level 22, you will unlock Riposte. This will do a bit of damage, but also disarm the target for 6 seconds. Truly amazing in hardcore, because then you will also avoid a lot of damage. Another big benefit of playing combat is that you will unlock the talent Blade Flurry. This you can activate, and now you will be able to kill 2 or 3 enemies at the same time. However, there's also another fun build to try out if you level up a rogue, and that is to play a Sublety. Here you will mainly open up in stealth with either ambush or backstab. What makes this build so amazing for hardcore is that your first opener will pretty much also do 50% of the target's total health. Then you gouge, backstab, and eviscerate. And why this combo will work is basically because as a Sublety rogue, your chance to crit with backstab and ambush is improved, and also the damage that you do. But the main reason why I like Sublety is because I feel like I have way more control, but also survivability options. The talent preparation allow me to reset all my cooldowns. So if I make a big mistake and I have cooldown on my vanish, sprint or evasion, then I can use preparation and use these abilities once again. Just remember that if you use vanish and you take damage, then you will also break the stealth effect. So you need to make sure you don't take any fall damage or have any damage over time effects on you. So I guess this is also the perfect time for me to talk about the different tips and tricks and key abilities as a rogue. At level 8, you can train evasion. This will increase your dodge chance by 50% for 15 seconds. An important thing to remember is that you can never dodge any attacks if your back is turned against the target. So even if you use evasion, make sure always to face the target, also when you try to run away. Another important ability as a rogue is gouge. This is an easy way to stop the target for a few seconds, for example if you need to either first aid or stop a cast. Gouge has a short cooldown, so it's also an amazing way to take down targets, for example to gouge, get some distance, and use a ranged weapon or throw. And every time you use this ability, you also gain 1 combo point. So eventually you will be able to have 5 combo points, and then you can use a kidney shot. Kidney shot is a stun you can use in combat. And the more combo points, the longer the stun duration is also going to be. Another ability that makes the rogue so insane is blind. This will cause the target to be disorientated for 10 seconds. One thing I like to combine together with blind is first aid. So while the target is disorientated, then I will also be able to heal myself for quite a bit. But in case this is still not enough, and I end up making some mistakes and I need to get away, then I can always just use the sprint to increase my movement speed. And like it wasn't enough, if I then accidentally pull even more enemies as I run away, then I can always just use a vanish. This will allow me to turn into stealth in combat, so I'll completely get out of combat and be able to survive. As a rogue, it's so important that you always track these cooldowns, but also the duration of your CCs. Therefore, I like to combine 2 different add-ons, Omni CC and Big Debuff. So now at the target portrait, but also at the nameplates, you will be able to see the CC and the duration. And at your action bar, there will now be numbers. These numbers indicate the remaining cooldown in seconds. So as a good rogue, you can easily control the fight even when you're fighting more than 1 target at the same time. Macros will definitely make this a lot easier, and therefore I will also share the ones that I use later in the video. So here's a quick trick you can do with your distract ability. If you're fighting a target and a patrol is about to get close to you, then you can always use your distract in combat. This will prevent the monsters from moving for quite a few seconds. In most cases, this should also give you enough time to finish off the targets and get back into stealth, so you avoid using your vanish. One thing I would also highly recommend you to do when you level up your rogue is to make sure you focus on getting some good weapons. For example, at level 10, you can go to many different vendors where you can purchase a white sword. Auction House will of course also be available on official Classic Hardcore, so maybe you might be able to pick up a weapon from there. Else, there's many different open world vendors where you can purchase green weapons. And in the description, I've added a link to a video with all the vendors that I use when I play hardcore. Remember also to level up lockpicking so you can open up different chests, but also doors and gates that is preventing you from entering a certain dungeon. And remember also to do the different rogue quests, as these will reward weapons, but also new abilities or things that will improve your leveling. So what is the best profession to choose as a rogue? Well, you could either go with skinning and leatherworking, so you can craft new items, or you could go with herbalism and alchemy, so you can craft potions that will benefit your leveling all the way up to 60. Mining and engineering is an amazing way to improve your survivability, but as a rogue you already have so many different ways to survive. So in my opinion, you won't benefit as much from this profession compared to so many other classes. Therefore, I would probably pick up skinning and leatherworking, so I could craft items that would benefit my leveling, but also the opportunity for me to sell the leather to the vendors and make gold from my mount. So what is the best race to choose as each faction? As a horde player, I would either choose Orc or Troll. Orcs will benefit from Blood Fury, a cooldown you can activate to increase your attack power. Super useful when you need to burst down a target. But there's also a big downside. When you activate this, you also get a debuff that reduces your healing taken by 50% for 25 seconds. So if you for example need to use an emergency healing potion, well then this can also be so bad, because now you'll heal next to nothing, and this could cause you to end up dying in a dungeon or when you level up your character. Therefore, I believe Troll will be so much better of a choice if you just need to make it to 60, because you will benefit from berserkering, but you will also benefit from regeneration. This will increase your health regeneration and also allow you to regen health in combat. So when you for example kite around and CC a target, then you will benefit from the healing that you get over time. Undead is also decent, as you will be able to use your cannibalism, so you could for example kill the target, blind another target, and use cannibalism to restore a lot of health. But mainly I would choose a troll over any other race. This is of course as long as you don't plan to play Alliance. As an Alliance player, I would probably choose human over any other race. This is because you will benefit a lot from the mace and sword specialization when you level up, but also at max level. Escape Artist as a gnome can be useful if you combine it together with a sprint, so you can run away. But the thing is that you could always just use a vanish, as this will also remove any movement impairing effects and get you out of combat. Night Elf is not really a good choice, and Dwarf could be decent. The only thing that you benefit from really is the fact that you get Stone Form. So if you have any bleeds on you, then you can activate this and use your vanish so it doesn't break your stealth. I know there's some racial abilities that I didn't cover, but this is also because I believe it won't have a huge impact on your leveling, but also in hardcore, because some of these are mainly for PvP. Next up is the different macros that I like to use, and in case there's a macro that you prefer to use as a rogue, then make sure to share this in a comment below the video. So what I like to do is to use different kind of mouse over macros, for example for my gouge, blind or kick. This allows me to not swap target, but easily CC another target at the same time. So all you need to do is just to mouse over a target and then use the macro. You might have tried this before. You either spam your stealth ability to get into stealth and then you accidentally break it, or while you're in stealth you accidentally hit the keybind and now you break your stealth. Don't worry, we can easily fix this. Just make a macro that will look like this and drag it to your action bar. Now you can spam this macro and you will always turn invisible, but you will not accidentally break your stealth effect. And what's even more amazing is that you can also add a new line with for example Zap or Cheap Shot. So now you spam this and you instantly turn invisible and you use either Zap or Cheap Shot. What's also good about this is that then you will never forget to turn stealth when you need to use Zap or Cheap Shot. As you get closer to level 60, then you should also start focusing on becoming hit capped. This is 9% with your special abilities when you're behind a target. An easy way to get 5% hit is just to spend 5 talent points into precision in the combat tree. and 2 points into weapon expertise to increase your weapon skills. This is also why Human is so amazing. You can also craft the Devil Saw set as a leather worker or buy this on the auction house. This is an easy way to get even more hit and crit. And when you reach level 60, then your talent tree should look like this in PvE, at least if you're going to use swords. If you prefer to use daggers, then your talent tree could look like this. Another important thing to remember to do is to level up cooking, because as a rogue you can craft the Fistal Tea, a consumable that will instantly restore 100 energy. So useful when you level up, but also at max level. This is why herbalism is also super useful as a rogue, so you can gather your own Swift Fistal. There's honestly so many different tips and tricks that will be useful in Classic Hardcore, and these I'll share on the channel anytime soon, so make sure to subscribe to get notified when I publish these videos. In the description, you can also find a link to an amazing hardcore leveling add-on, and on top of this, also my official Classic Hardcore gold making guide. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Peace!